To go on with part three here, this little comparison between the foreign policy stances and the differences between Obama and Clinton on several issues. And so today I'm going to cover, alongside with Zoom's essay, the issue of Iran. Not only Iran, but also Afghanistan, Israel and its neighbors, ongoing operations in Pakistan, and Al-Qaeda. So Clinton argued up until last year that the Bush administration had not been tough enough against Iran. Clinton said several months ago that the White House lost critical time in dealing with that country, accusing the administration of choosing to downplay the threats and to outsource the negotiations as well as standing on the sidelines. Now, for anyone who has followed any international relations at all, it should come as no surprise that any negotiation has to be outsourced these days, since our country no longer has an embassy or a mission in the country of Iran. So things take place through third parties and behind closed doors. That goes without saying. So for Clinton to bring this up is somewhat disingenuous, to say the least. Clinton falsely accused Iran last year of having an active nuclear weapons program, demonstrating that she has learned probably nothing from the all-inclusive statements by President Bush and his administration concerning prior weapons programs taking place in the country of Iraq, for that matter. So that just as a little sideline here. More recently, however, Clinton has joined Obama in criticizing Bush and his threats of military strikes against Iran. Despite this, both have refused to rule out, as president, taking unilateral U.S. military action against that country to prevent the Islamic Republic from obtaining nuclear weapons in the first place. Clinton voted in favor of a bill, I believe it's called the Kyle something amendment, targeting Iran, which called for the United States to declare the largest branch of Iran's armed services to be a terrorist organization, which many interpreted as providing the Bush administration with a rationale for going to war with them in the future. Her vote has been harshly criticized by Obama since then, who did not vote for that amendment. Meanwhile, Clinton has harshly criticized Obama for his calls for direct negotiations with Iran on areas of mutual concerns, calling such diplomatic initiatives naive. Now to the subject of Israel and its neighbors. Both candidates have defended Israel's ongoing repression against the Palestinians and Israel's 2006 war in Lebanon, as well as insisting that the onus of responsibility for the failure of the peace process lies with the Palestinians under occupation rather than the Israeli occupiers. Clinton has defended Israeli settlement policy and the construction of a separation barrier deep inside the West Bank. Clinton has been the most outspoken of the two in supporting Israel's right-wing government and its violations of international humanitarian law, and has gone as far as insisting Palestinian violence is not in reaction to Israeli occupation, but simply a result of anti-Semitism and anti-Israel propaganda. Obama has been less visible in his support for Israeli policies than Clinton. And Obama has been somewhat more nuanced in his wording, such as also mentioning Israeli responsibilities in moving the peace process forward. In addition, Obama took a notably more moderate position regarding the Israeli-Palestinian conflict until a couple of years ago, then aligning more with Israel, and has swung a little bit more to the right since seeking national office. Now to Al-Qaeda and Afghanistan and Pakistan. Both candidates support the war in Afghanistan, with Clinton joining other senators in voting in favor of authorizing military action against that country in the wake of 9/11. Now, Obama wasn't a senator back then, so he didn't vote on that. Both stress the need for applying diplomatic and economic pressure on Pakistan for greater cooperation on counterterrorism issues and have threatened bombings and incursions into Pakistan to root out al-Qaeda operatives. On broader counterterrorism issues, Obama has emphasized improved intelligence and greater international cooperation as well as preventative measures, with Obama in particular calling for a vigorous policy to prevent the emergence of failed states, and supporting dramatically increased funding for sustainable development and education in areas prone to influence by radical Islamist ideologies. So this is part 3. I think there'll be one more part, and that concludes my series. I don't know if I'm going to upload that tonight or not. I'm not sure if I have the time, but thanks for listening.